Hey guys, and welcome to Faith Works Designs. I'm Faith, and today we're doing a really exciting bag. It's super beginner friendly and really quick to put together. I'm so happy. After all of those Harry Potter bags, I was ready for something to be easy. If you've gotten the Winchester bag from K&A, you'll probably recognize this a little bit. It's going to be a version of that. The Winchester has a flap that comes over the front. We want it to be something a little more simple, where you have just an opening and a gusset. And I love the artwork because it looks like a chalkboard, and it's really cool. Kim and Alex have these Star Wars tags that they made. The hardware, it's so nice, and it's going to be hard to see with my ring light being goofy. But the hardware is really nice. It has a nice weight to it, and I feel like the bag needed that hardware. So excited to finally tell you guys that we finally got a zipper pocket. This pattern was small enough that we could stretch a zipper pocket on the inside. So on the inside, your print looks like a blueprint for the Millennium Falcon. So let me scooch this in. So we've got our little zipper pocket on the inside there. Super simple. It is binding, sorry about that. The inside on the other side is plain. All we could get on there was a zipper pocket, but if you wanted to buy some coordinating fabric, make another slip pocket, make another zipper pocket, you could, no problem. This one is a super fast, quick design. Would be perfect for the end of the year. Real quick before we get started, in the instructions when I'm telling you to put this bag tag on, if you buy these Star Wars bag tags, in the instructions I tell you to put it about an inch, I believe. That's where it sits at an inch. With my second one, I went back and I put it at 2 inches, and that's where it ended up ending. So if you like that position better, make sure that you put it in at 2 inches instead of an inch. Okay. Let's get started. Alright, so when you get your Star Wars roll, it's going to look like this. This is going to be the easiest bag you've ever put together. Let's hope so. So this is going to be your outer panel. Today I'm going to be using pebble vinyl. This is going to be the main part of your bag. This is going to be your zipper gusset. This goes on the bottom of the zipper gusset, which we'll get to in a minute, and as I cut these out, I will give you the measurements for everything so that you can make sure that everything is the size that it needs to be. We also have our D-rings, connectors. So that's our outer. My lining today is going to be canvas. So we're going to have our main part, gusset, and we've got a zipper pocket. I know, I'm just as excited as you are. So I've got to cut all these out, iron this, cut it out, and interface it. But let's talk hardware real quick. So you're going to have, I have here, I believe it's 3 yards. You're only going to need about 60 inches if you want to make this into a purse. Then you've got some matching zipper tape. It matches really well with the outside pages. I know it can be kind of hard to see. Then Kim and Alex have these Star Wars plates that we're going to put on the back of our bag just to make it a little more fancy. It comes with your little washer, and I'll show you guys how to put this on. Then we have 2 of our strap connectors. We're going to connect our strap onto here. This is going to connect to our purse, so you have 2 of those. They're really cool. I don't know what kind of metal this is. I'm guessing it's gunmetal. It's really cool looking, and it's a really nice weight. I like that. I like that. Alright. You're also going to need 2 zippers. I don't have my second one with me, but you're going to need 2 zippers. Number 5 zippers. We're using number 5 zipper tape today. For the zipper tape, we will get to the measurement in just a little bit. Alright, so for your webbing to make your strap, and K&A's is carrying this gunmetal now, and it really looks nice next to the connectors. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but they look really nice. Alright, so you're going to need 2 of your ends swivel clasps and then one of your strap adjusters. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, or take my lining to the ironing board. Now, before you cut out your fabric, you're going to need to take your main panel and use it as a template for your lining panel. Stuff happens and our lining for some reason ends up being like 1/8 of an inch or so larger than our outside. We need these to be the same size. So take your main panel pieces, all of this, and use them as a template for your lining. So let me go iron this, and then we'll cut these out and I will show you all of the measurements and all that stuff. Alright, so we have got our main panel, and as you can see, the pattern is going to be printed on your main panel. Your front, like main part of your bag, is going to measure 19.5 inches long by 11.25 wide. Your zipper gusset is 2 inches wide by 15.25 long. Your bottom part, these little pieces right here, are going to be 4 wide by 6 long, and then our D-rings are 2 inches wide by 3 long. How you cut them out is that you just follow where the white and the printed material kind of come together. You can measure them later if you want to. Ta-da! I love that Kim sends me 2 panels. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when you get all done cutting everything out. You're going to go ahead and turn this over, and depending upon what outer material you get, I'm going to be using Decoville Light, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it 1/4 of an inch shorter all the way around on all of my pieces so that when I'm sewing it's not in my seams. My D-rings, I'm going to go ahead and cut one that's 3/4 wide by 3 inches long. That'll help this fold in onto itself a little better. Alright, now that we've got all of our pieces cut out, the next thing we need to do is we need to take our main pieces and use them as a template for our lining. So let me grab the lining. So as you can see when I lay down my top panel, that they're just like off a hair in places, and for some reason it just keeps doing that. So in every video I'm going to tell you, take your outer panel and use it as a template for your lining panel. I'm going to go ahead real quick and cut all these out and then give you the measurements for your zipper pocket that we finally got to get. Yay! Your zipper panel for the inside of your bag is going to be 15 inches long by 9 inches wide. So go ahead and cut that out. I completely forgot to mention to you guys that my lining, I went ahead and just took a whole thing of interfacing. Hopefully you could see that. I took a whole thing of interfacing, just laid it out, put my lining on top of it, and then just went ahead and ironed everything. This has been streamlining my life and making it so much faster for me to cut everything out. So I forgot to mention that, but that's what I do if you've been wondering and seeing any of this and wondering what it was. I interfaced my cotton, or this is canvas. I interfaced my canvas with an Pelon 950F. It's what I use because it's a little bit thicker than SF101, and it kind of helps with the structure of my bag. So I just wanted to mention that because I forgot to. Alright, so we're going to do the thing that I normally wait till the very last to do. We're going to go ahead and do our little D-rings. I put a piece of 3/4 inch by 3 inch thing of Decoville Light in the center, adhered it on with my iron. I put a line going straight down the center at the 1 inch mark. Then I put some double-sided tape. The next thing you're going to do is just fold one side over to that center line, and then fold the other side over to that center line. I've got my stitch length at a 4. I have a size 12 needle. I'm going to sew down, over, and back up again on both of them. And then our D-rings will be done. Alright, now that we've got our D-rings, we're just going to kind of set these aside for a minute. I'm going to grab my 2 lining fabrics for my zipper gusset, my 2 outer panels for my zipper gusset, and my zipper. You could iron the sides of this so that it'll lay a little bit flatter. It's up to you. I have also grabbed a few clips. What I like to do is I'm going to take one of my outer panels and my lining and put them right side together. I'm going to go ahead and just clip them together all the way down, and then I'm going to add my lining fabric to my clip sandwich. I just like to get that zipper on there just right first. And grab my lining, and I'm going to put it right side to the wrong side of my zipper. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sew at 1/4 inch all the way down the zipper. I've got my stitch length to a 3. Alright, after you've done that, cut all of your threads. Then I'm going to open all of this up. So I'm going to make it so that the lining and the outer panel are pulling away from our zipper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my stitch length to a 4. And then I'm just going to base stitch down the side of my fabric so that my lining and my outer panel are all base stitched together. And then I'm going to come back up and top stitch down my zipper. If you want, you could clip this all together, but I like to live dangerously. It's fine. Alright, now that we've got one side done, we've got to do the other side. So grab your other piece of your outer fabric, put it right side to the right side of your zipper, matching up these edges right here. Do your zipper sandwich, and then sew the other side just like you sewed the other side. So I'm going to change my needle out because I saw a little bit of skipping stitches going on. I'm going to change that out and go ahead and top stitch down the side, and your gusset should look like that. Alright, now that we have got our zipper gusset all complete, you can double check, make sure you put your lining the right way. It's kind of late once you get to that point, so just make sure that you double check which way your lining is going. Alright, now we've got our 2 D-ring connectors, our strap connectors, and our zipper. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab our zipper tape and open it up a little bit. And then we're going to grab our zipper, putting the left side in first, put the right side in, push down a little bit, and you see how the left side is there we go. See how the left side is a little bit higher than the right side, so it's not quite right. Push it back up, straighten it up. It should look like just like that, straight across. Alright, our zipper is on. We're going to grab one of our strap connectors. We're going to put our D-ring connector through it, close it up, and then we're going to put it on one side of our zipper gusset. I'm going to clip it in place for now. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to base stitch this an 1/8 of an inch with a 4 stitch length on the edge, just so that it'll stay in place when I go to put the other side panels on. So making sure that you've got this line, where we folded it in on itself, making sure that that's in the center. I want to double check that other one. Make sure I did it right. Alright, yes. Okay. So I'm going to base stitch both ends, making sure that they're all attached and I don't have to worry about them. Alright, so I have got my D-ring and strap connectors all attached on both sides. The next thing we need to do is we need to grab these little side pieces. You should have 2 of your outer and 2 of your lining. What we're going to do is we're going to take the one right side to right side of where our connector is. And I'm going to go ahead and just clip those together so they'll stay in place. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to take my lining right side to right side and I'm going to add it to that sandwich. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to sew across here at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, making sure to backstitch when we start and backstitch when we stop. So let me add the other side and we'll go ahead and do that. Now I've got my stitch length at a 3. Again, I put in a bigger needle just because this is going to get thick. If you wanted to, and I should probably do that to show you guys, you can take one of these tools for your key fobs and I'm just going to smush it down because she does get thick right there in the center because of your D-ring, and I have been really trying hard to think of some new ways, and eventually they'll happen, but new ways to do D-rings for you guys, connectors for you guys, so they're not so thick and a little more domestic friendly. Alright, so I'm going to start back stitch, go over the center. Now that we've got both of them attached, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull back this top layer and this bottom layer. And then what you're going to do is you're going to want to base stitch. I'm not going to go across here because I know it's going to be thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to top stitch, like base stitch, around these sides right here, and then not top stitch there. If you want to top stitch there, go for it. It's up to you. I have set my stitch length at a 4. And then just 1/8 of an inch all the way around the edge. You'll just base stitch them together. Alright, so now we're going to put everything aside and we're going to work on our lining. You're going to need to take your zipper pouch and I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure 1 inch up, and I've got it nice and centered on my inch lines. So 1 inch in, I'm going to make a mark, and 1 inch in on this line, I'm going to make a mark, and then I'm going to connect those 2 marks. Next thing I'm going to do is move my ruler up 1/2 inch, and then connect all those marks. Then I'm going to take my main panel, and it really doesn't matter which side you do it on. Either side is fine. What you are going to need to do though is measure 1 1/4 inches. So let's get this lined up on my mat. Hopefully you can see it. So I've got it lined up on my mat. I am moving in 1 1/4 inches. I'm going to line up my lining panel, my zipper pocket panel, 1 1/4 inches down. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch along here. Alright, now I've got my stitch length to a 2.5 and I'm just going to start and go all the way. Alright, now that we've got this all sewn up, I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm just going to kind of snip in. You can make a line down the center if you want, it's up to you. But I'm just going to cut till about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch to each side. And stop. Then I'm going to grab my sharp scissors and at an angle, we're going to make our little triangle. And you're going to try really hard not to cut your threads. And each side should look like that and have a little triangle. Now I'm going to take this to the ironing board. I know, I'm shocked. I'm going to take this to the ironing board so it'll lay nice and flat because this is canvas. So I want it to lay nice and flat. Alright, take the tail in, poke it through, poke this side through, and then take it to the ironing board, and that way it'll lay nice and flat, and we can grab our zipper and go ahead and install that. So let me take this to the ironing board and then I'll be back. Alright, so we've got our panel all ironed, so it'll lay nice and flat. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab an 8-inch zipper, and I've put a 1/4 inch double-sided tape on each side just to hold it in place while I'm trying to sew it. I'm going to go ahead and grab my zipper and put my zipper on. Again, left side first, then the right side. Alright, now I'm going to lay it flat. I'm going to take my top tape off, if it will go. Alright. And then I'm going to take my panel and I'm going to lay it in the center, making sure that I can feel a little bit of the zipper teeth on each end, and that it's where I want. Just push down, move your zipper pull up, lift up this flap, take off the bottom paper, and then just let it kind of flap down wherever it wants to go. Alright, sorry about that, my camera died, but that's alright, we were moving over here anyway. So I am going to use a 2.5 stitch length. I am going to sew around my zipper to sew it in place, hanging onto my thread when I start so I can pull it through. Alright, now we're going to take this bottom end and meet it up to our top end so that we have our little zipper pouch all closed up. And then we're going to sew on those 3 sides. We are not turning this in and out through it, so we're going to close it up all the way. Alright, I'm going to turn it over. Alright, so we've got our zipper pocket all installed. Let's set this aside for a second because we got one more thing to do before we work on all of that. I have got my main outside panel, and Kim and Alex had these Star Wars tags made for them to be put onto the bag. So I wanted to show you that if you were to put, say you wanted it at the bottom of the back of the bag, if you were to put it this way, it would be upside down. Because, so this is your bag. When you go around, this end is going to be the back of the top of your bag, not the back of your bottom of your bag. So the bottom of the bag is closest to the edge of your like the spine of your book. So this is going to be the bottom of the bag right here. I put one together really quick so I can show you guys if that's what we needed to do. So you can figure out where you want it. You can put it in the center. You can put it towards the bottom. It's up to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure about 1 inch. So you can see that your spine is right here. I know it's kind of hard because it's supposed to be like a chalkboard design, so it's kind of hard to see it. But I'm going to find that 1 inch. So the edge is right here. I'm going to measure down 1 inch. And I'm going to center it as best I can. And Star Wars needs to be looking away from me, not facing me, or it'll be upside down. So I'm going to take these. Thought I was going to need my pliers, but I don't. That's nice. Alright, cool. I'm going to figure out where these go on this. On the ends. Okay. I'm going to find my center. Alright. Alright, so I've got my center right there. I am going to mark a line right here and right here, on one on this end and one on that end, because that's where the legs are going to go. Then I'm going to get my seam ripper, And I'm just going to make a little slit, just a itty bitty teeny weeny one. I'm going to make sure that Star Wars is facing down, and I'm going to put the legs in. Okay, and then make sure that Star Wars is facing that way. Turn it over, and I'm going to add my washer. Now you can grab some tape if you wanted to at this point. Sometimes those little tags scratch against the lining. And yes, I still have my happy dappy little painter's tape. I can't help it. Alright, now what we're going to do, now that this panel is ready to go, we are going to grab our lining panel. I'm going to flip this over, and it doesn't really matter either way, whichever way it's facing. So if you want, I'm going to grab my lining panel. Now, this is going to be the back of my purse, and I like my zipper to be on, when I'm looking into my purse, I like my zipper to be on that side, and obviously I did not pay attention when I was making this one. So we're going to pay attention to that this time. So I've got my zipper on the same side. Nope. I've got my zipper on the same side that the back of my purse is. That should work. I did not pay attention when I did the first one which direction was facing what, and I probably should have. Alright, now we're going to clip these two together, and then what I'm going to do is base stitch all the way around the edges so that this is one piece to have to work with. So we'll do 4 stitch length, 1/8 of an inch around the edge, and then just base stitch these together. Alright, so I have got my lining and my outer panel base stitched together. I have got my center zipper gusset. What I did was I put the sides at the seams together and made a notch. You're going to need a notch, a center notch on each side of your zipper, and then come down here to the bottom, which I haven't done yet, and you're going to need to fold this in half and find the center of your bottom side gussets. And I did it on that side. Then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to take this, fold it in half, find the center, do that on both sides, then take this, fold it in half, make a center mark on both ends. So you should have 4 points that we can connect your gusset to the main part of your bag. Next thing we're going to do is right sides together. This is going to be the front of your bag. So we want your zipper closing to the left, opening to the right. I'm going to put this right side to right side. I'm going to match up those center notches, and then I'm going to make a few clips along the top just to hold this in place. Then I'm going to take this bottom, right side to right side of the other side of my zipper gusset, and I'm going to clip along there. This is going to be one you guys are going to want to get a lot of clips ready for. Because of the shape of everything, it's going to need a lot of clips. So we're just going to clip it up today, and it'll be fine. One more over here. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to grab this part right here, and if you wanted to do a book bag style, which I was going to try and do it but I didn't, this is where you would want to add some sort of backpack strap D-ring on one of these sides, probably the back side, so making sure that it's on this side. You could add a strap on here. We are going to skip that today because I don't have the mental energy. So I'm going to match up my center notch, and then I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to make some clips. See where it rounds out, and then down here at the bottom you're going to have to round it out towards our bottom, you're going to want to clip notches in your gusset, not your panel. Just so that it goes around that corner a little easier. Okay, and then down here, we'll do a few clips, and then you're just going to clip all the way around. Alright, so when you're finished clipping, it should look like this. I know, it's an odd shape and it's going to be so much fun to sew. Alright, let's go to the sewing machine. I can see right now I'm going to have to straighten some stuff out. What we're going to do is we're going to base stitch the gusset and the main panel together at 1/8 of an inch with a 4-stitch length all the way around, and just kind of base stitch it together, and then we're going to add our binding. So I've got you scooched a little bit further back because I need to actually be able to see what I'm doing. Alright, so 1/8 of an inch all the way around with a 4-stitch length. This is the only part that I think is going to be an issue for some of you guys. Just take your time and move things around. I've had to get out my stiletto a few times when I was doing my other one. So just take your time with the roundy bits. Alright, so we're all the way around our bag. If you have problems sewing it the way that I did, you can always sew it like this and just sew all the way around. It's up to you. Whichever way that you find is easier to sew this, you do it. The curves are roof. But there's nothing we can get away from that to keep the shape of the bag that we wanted. So now I have some 1-inch waterproof canvas that I'm going to use as my binding. I'm just going to fold it over in half and kind of press it with my fingers. I did clip at an angle to take some of that bulk out. I'm going to fold that down, flip it over. I'm going to start on the back of my bag, and then I'm just going to clip all the way around. Alright, so I have changed out my thread color to black because my binding is black. I am also going to attempt to sew it this way this time and just see if it's any easier, and I'll let you know. So I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Alright, she's all sewn up, all bound. Let's get that zipper open. And then we're going to turn this inside out. So you want to kind of just put your fist into the bottom and kind of tell it to go that way. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys, I got to get my stuff, how to kind of straighten out all these curves. Is you take some one-sided interfacing and some of those office clips, you know what I'm talking about? And you can put the one-sided interfacing, kind of roll your edges out, put the one-sided interfacing over top of it, and then you put your clip on top of that, and you leave them on there for a while, and it helps kind of train the edges to do what you want them to do. So when I get it all clipped up, I'll show you guys. Alright, so here they are. I've got a couple of pieces of scrap, one-sided interfacing, and then my little clips. And what I'll end up doing, throwing my bag around, so I'll get the edges out, put this on there. You want to protect that vinyl, that's what that's for. And then clip that on there. And then I only have a couple of these really big clips, so I'll do one side and then I'll come back and I'll do the other side. And you just leave them like that for 20 minutes, give or take. And then when you take them off, your bag will be shaped just the way that you want it to be. Alright, now let me go grab the stuff and we will do the straps. Alright, so we got what we need for our strap. I went ahead and cut a 60-inch long strap. You could do a book bag situation if you wanted to. It's just up to you. I've got one strap adjuster and then two swivel clasps. What I'm going to do is grab one end. Make sure that you burn both ends of your webbing so that it won't come unraveled. So you're going to put your webbing through one side of your strap adjuster and then back down through your strap adjuster so that you've got about an inch, inch and a half, like that. I'm going to put a clip there to just kind of hold it in place. Then I'm going to take it straight, keeping my webbing nice and straight. I'm going to grab my swivel clasp and I'm going to put it with the bottom on the webbing just like that. Then I'm going to take the webbing and put it back through the top of the strap adjuster and then back down the other side like that, and then pull it through a little bit. With the webbing still straight, we're going to put the swivel clasp on the top this time and then give ourselves about an inch, inch and a half of tail to clip on there. Now you're going to go to the sewing machine and you're going to sew a little square all the way around and then a little square to sew these two together. Alright guys, so what did you think? I hope you guys liked this video. I was trying to make a nice beginner friendly bag after all those Harry Potter bags, so hopefully you guys like this one. If you did, you can make sure that you give the video a thumbs up. Or if you want to subscribe, you can, because we have a lot more coming next year that I'm really excited about, because there's some good patterns. If you like Beauty and the Beast, I finally talked them into something. So that's coming. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. If you have any ideas of things that you would like to see, go on K&A's, and sometimes they have like a poll. Go on there and put your ideas on there and stuff that you want. We would love to have you guys' ideas. Because we're open to doing other things. We're just limited by, you know, what we can come up with. So if you have any ideas, make sure that you post them on there. If you make this bag and if you make any changes, add pockets, things like that, make sure that you show us on the page. We love seeing you guys' makes. We work really hard on all of this. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it's a lot of work. All of this is a lot of work. We love it when you guys post them on the page, so make sure that you share your makes with us when you've put this all together. Thanks for joining us again on Faith Works Designs. Bye guys.